Do INFJs even belong in this world? Have you ever felt like an alien in a world that doesn't quite understand you? Like your depth, your thoughts, your emotions, everything about you is just too much for people to handle? If so, you're not alone. INFJs are known as the rarest personality type, making up only about 1 to 2% of the population. This rarity often leaves us feeling out of place, misunderstood, and even questioning whether we belong in this world at all. But here's the truth, you do belong, even if it doesn't always feel that way. In this video, we're going to explore reasons why INFJs often feel like outsiders, along with solutions to help you embrace your uniqueness and find your place in the world. So if you've ever felt like you just don't fit in, stick around. You're about to discover why that might actually be a good thing. 1. You see the world differently. INFJs perceive the world through a deep and introspective lens. While many people focus on day-to-day survival, INFJs are constantly analyzing human nature, questioning societal norms, and searching for deeper truths. Imagine being at a party where everyone is discussing celebrity gossip or the latest reality TV drama. While they're engaged in these conversations, you're standing in the corner, thinking about the meaning of life, wondering what makes people truly happy, or contemplating the future of humanity. The world often rewards surface-level thinking, while your mind naturally gravitates toward depth and complexity. You might find it difficult to engage in conversations that feel shallow or repetitive, leaving you feeling disconnected from the people around you. Instead of forcing yourself to engage in conversations that feel empty, seek out environments where deep discussions are encouraged, philosophy groups, book clubs, or communities of thinkers who appreciate your insights. Finding the right people can transform your experience of belonging. 2. Your depth can be overwhelming to others. You don't just think deeply, you feel deeply, and you expect the same level of depth from others. But many people aren't wired to engage in profound conversations about life, emotions, and existence. You once shared a deep and personal insight with someone, expecting a meaningful discussion, only to be met with a blank stare or a dismissive "you think too much." You may have experienced this in relationships, where your desire for emotional connection was met with resistance or indifference. Others may see your depth as intimidating, confusing, or unnecessary, which can make forming connections difficult. Your desire for meaningful conversations may be met with confusion or discomfort from those who prefer lighter topics. Instead of expecting everyone to match your depth, learn to recognize who wants to engage in deep conversations and who doesn't. Seek relationships with individuals who appreciate emotional and intellectual depth, rather than trying to fit into social dynamics that leave you feeling unfulfilled. 3. You crave authenticity in a superficial world. INFJs have a built-in radar for inauthenticity. You can see through fake smiles, empty words, and social masks with startling accuracy, which makes it difficult to connect in a world that often prioritizes appearances over truth. You're in a social setting, and you notice that someone is pretending to be happy while clearly suppressing sadness. Others seem to buy into the act, but you can feel the emotional dissonance. This disconnect can make social interactions feel exhausting or even disheartening. Society often values politeness over honesty, making it hard for you to engage in interactions that feel fake or forced. The pressure to conform to social expectations can leave you feeling out of sync with those around you. Instead of trying to fit into social circles that prioritize small talk, build connections with people who value vulnerability and authenticity. Cultivate relationships where emotional honesty is encouraged, and create safe spaces where you and others can express your true selves without judgment. 4. Your empathy can feel like a burden. INFJs don't just understand emotions, they absorb them. This makes social interactions both meaningful and exhausting. You walk into a room, and without anyone saying a word, you can immediately sense who's stressed, who's sad, and who's pretending to be fine. A friend is upset, and suddenly, you feel drained without knowing why. This heightened sensitivity can lead to emotional exhaustion, especially in high-stress environments. Constantly absorbing others' emotions can make you feel overwhelmed and emotionally exhausted, especially in environments where people don't acknowledge their feelings. You may struggle to differentiate between your own emotions and those you have absorbed from others. Learn to set emotional boundaries. Imagine a protective barrier around yourself, allowing you to understand emotions without taking them on as your own. Practicing grounding techniques, like meditation or journaling, can help you release emotional energy that isn't yours. 5. Your idealism feels out of place. You have a vision of how the world should be, and when reality falls short, it can be deeply frustrating. While others settle for good enough, you strive for something greater, whether it's in relationships, work, or personal growth. You see injustice and wish you could fix everything, leading to feelings of helplessness when the world doesn't change as quickly as you'd like. The world is often driven by practicality, compromise, and self-interest, whereas you are driven by purpose and meaning. This fundamental difference can make you feel like you're constantly swimming against the current. Instead of feeling defeated by the imperfections of the world, focus on what you can change. Even small acts of kindness and integrity can create ripples of positive change. Embrace progress over perfection, and remember that even small contributions make a difference. 6. You struggle with feeling misunderstood. INFJs often feel like their thoughts and emotions are too intricate for others to grasp. Your mind weaves together abstract concepts, deep emotions, and intricate connections, making it hard for others to follow your train of thought. You try to explain your perspective on a philosophical topic, but instead of engaging, people look at you with confusion or change the subject. It leaves you feeling isolated, like your thoughts are too complex for the world around you. Accept that not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. Instead of seeking validation from the wrong places, express yourself through creative outlets such as writing, music, or art, where your depth can be fully appreciated by those who resonate with it. 7. You carry the weight of the world. News about global crises deeply affects you. While others move on quickly, you find yourself thinking about suffering for days. Channel your emotions into action, volunteer, advocate, or support causes that align with your values. 8. Your inner world is vast and rich. You can spend hours lost in thought, contemplating philosophy, psychology, or an imaginary universe you've created. Use this to your advantage. Journaling, storytelling, or deep reflection can become strengths in careers and personal growth. 9. You're a perfectionist, and it's exhausting. You rewrite the same email multiple times before sending it, fearing it might be misinterpreted. Learn to accept good enough when perfectionism starts holding you back. 10. You have a strong need for solitude. After socializing, INFJs need hours, or even days, to recharge, making people think you're avoiding them. Communicate your needs clearly. Let others know that solitude isn't rejection but restoration. 11. You feel torn between logic and emotion. You analyze a situation logically but can't ignore your gut feeling, creating internal conflict. Develop a balance between intuition and reason by weighing pros and cons while also trusting your instincts. 12. You struggle with finding your true purpose. You want to make an impact but feel lost between too many possibilities. Should you be a writer, a counselor, an activist? Experiment with different paths. Your purpose often unfolds over time rather than arriving in a single moment. 13. You're often seen as too much or too little. Some people say you're too quiet, while others say you're too intense when you finally open up. Own your duality. The right people will appreciate both sides of you. 14. You actually do belong, you just need to find your people. INFJs often flourish when they meet others who resonate with their depth, even if it takes time. Seek out INFJ communities, deeper friendships, and meaningful relationships where you feel seen and heard. Yes, you belong, even if it doesn't feel that way. INFJs often feel like outsiders, but that doesn't mean you don't belong. Your perspective, empathy, and depth are needed in this world. It just takes time to find the right people and the right spaces where you feel at home. If this video resonated with you, share your experiences in the comments. What's one moment where you felt like you didn't belong? Let's create a space where INFJs can connect and support each other. Stay safe, and see you in the next one.